Homeless vets get a mixed bag. Hey, I am Chuck the bureaucrat, and recently somebody asked me about the eviction protections for veterans. And I gotta tell you, they're not great. And what I mean by that is that they're just not as robust as the protections you have as an active duty service member. While you're on active duty, you're covered by what's called the Service Members Civil Relief Act. That piece of legislation protects service members from a whole host of financial woes like interest rate hikes, foreclosures, lease terminations, some types of civil court actions, and of course, evictions. As a veteran, you do not have that same national level of eviction protection. Instead, the VA coordinates a network of state and local level services that provide veteran support, and the way you get to that support is by contacting the VA at this number. Now, before I tell you about the help that they provide, it's important to understand the philosophy that underpins this help. And I know it seems like I'm just dragging this out, but trust me, understanding the philosophy behind the support will make it easier to deal with the VA, at least a little bit easier. The way this thinking goes is that when an individual or a family becomes homeless, it's the result of a cascading series of events. An illness or an injury leads to a financial crisis, which leads to missed payments, which in turn leads to an eviction, or in some cases, just really, really bad credit that makes it difficult to get like a new apartment. In the past, aid organizations have tried to deal with this spectrum of problems by addressing the issues linearly. They try to address health, and then employment, and then financial stability, and then credit, and only then do they think about housing. And not for nothing, but being homeless comes with a whole host of other problems that just add to those things that caused the homelessness in the first place. So, over the last 15 or 20 years, a whole host of aid organizations have moved towards a philosophy that they call Rapid Rehousing. The core concept of rapid rehousing is to simultaneously address the issues of finding housing, arranging financial assistance, and case management. It's kind of like a full court press on all the issues that contribute to homelessness in order to reduce the time that somebody is actually unhoused. All right, so I said all of that so you have an idea of just what's going to happen when you go to the VA website looking for help. See, what's going to happen is when you go looking for VA assistance to help avoid eviction, you're going to get directed to the National Call Center for Homeless Vets. Through this call center, the VA provides 24/7 assistance to direct veterans to support and resources. Depending on the specific circumstances of a veteran's needs, the VA is going to direct that veteran to different services. Now, the VA can't stop an eviction by themselves, but they may be able to connect you with a legal clinic or a legal support service. Alternately, or maybe additionally, the VA may direct you to the Supportive Services for Veteran Families Program, or SSVF. I'm not going to get into the details of how this program works, other than to make two important points. Number one, SSVF provides grants to private nonprofits that provide support to very low-income veterans and their families. The point being that the VA doesn't operate these programs. They simply direct veterans to those programs, and they provide a little bit of funding. Number two, the nonprofit organizations who are part of the SSVF, they apply that rapid rehousing philosophy that I talked about earlier. My sense is that even though all of this is designed to get as much support to the veteran as quickly as possible in the way that the veteran needs it, that a veteran who's in crisis might feel as if this support is being provided in a chaotic or haphazard or patchy kind of way. What all of that suggests to me is that if you're concerned about a veteran who is homeless or is at risk of becoming homeless, or if you are concerned about getting evicted, that you might want to intervene early and take advantage of these services before the need becomes too great. Basically, that cascade of bad things that can happen, you want to start to take action as they're happening instead of waiting until they've all piled up. And yes, I understand how impossible that may be to do in the heat of the moment. But as an example, consider a veteran who has some kind of medical injury or illness. You might ask, is this something that qualifies as a presumptive condition? In that case, you might want to submit a claim, and you might want to simultaneously leverage priority processing. Does that veteran qualify for very low income? Well, then they might want to apply for a veteran's pension. I mean, you're not going to get rich off of that program, but you're going to at least be able to keep your head above water. And then if homelessness does still loom, the VA does have a subsidy program for those very low income vets called the shallow subsidy. Again, it's not a heck of a lot of money and it doesn't last forever, but it can be a lifeline in a pinch. And finally, find yourself a good veteran service officer. From time to time, people make this point, and it is true. Do not rely on some YouTuber like me to get all of your VA advice and support. You want to work with a trained professional, somebody who you trust, and somebody who deals with the VA every day. And if you want to know how to find one of those people, one of those VSOs, watch this video.